UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi has been announced, and this Fight Night card is honestly probably better than some pay-per-view cards we have gotten this year. I actually don't know how, well actually that's a lie, I do know how Abu Dhabi get these cards. It's because of the amount of money that they give the UFC. So anytime you see a Middle East card, you know it's going to be stacked. You know the UFC is going to go all out for it. And this Fight Night card is no different. Starting off with the main event, we have got Robert Whittaker taking on Renan de Ridder. Banger matchup. Now, a bit weird for this to be the main event of UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi. I'm not complaining though. This fight is going to be really fun. Is it going to be a repeat of Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis? Renan de Ridder is very similar to the goofball that is Dricus du Plessis. He is on a good win streak at the minute in the UFC. All of his wins coming by way of finish. He's obviously coming off that win over Bo Nickel, where he fraud checked Bo Nickel. But this is a big jump up in competition. Now, Renan de Ridder, he's been around. He's done a lot of good work outside of the UFC in one championship where he was a 2-division world champion. But this is easily the toughest matchup of his career. Robert Whittaker, former UFC middleweight champion, a mainstay in the UFC's top 5 middleweight division for a very long time, has been in there and competed with the best the middleweight division has ever seen, and has came out on top in a lot of those matchups. Now, Dricus du Plessis, Robert Whittaker is coming off a loss to Khamzat Chimaev, where Khamzat quite literally broke his face in the first round at UFC 308, I believe that card was, with that rear naked choke submission neck crank type thing. So Whittaker has been out for a while. Renan de Ridder has been fairly active. I mean, he fought in January and then he fought recently against Bo Nickel, and this fight card is coming up in July. So Renan de Ridder has been the more active guy out of the two. In terms of momentum, it is in the favour of Renan de Ridder, but just stylistically, Robert Whittaker is going to be a nightmare matchup for him. Look, Robert Whittaker, especially over 5 rounds, this is why I'm so confident in the Robert Whittaker win. If this was a 3-rounder, I'd maybe be a bit like, I'd probably still pick Robert Whittaker, to be honest, but I wouldn't be so clear cut on my Robert Whittaker pick. I think Robert Whittaker is just going to be too fast for Renan de Ridder on the feet. Robert Whittaker's got really good cardio. His jab is going to land on Renan de Ridder all night. That jab, then the head kick to come up behind it. The jab cross head kick that Robert Whittaker throws. Robert Whittaker's just dynamic strike style. The footwork of Robert Whittaker. Renan de Ridder has plot armor, but he's not a big puncher. That's another thing as well. Robert Whittaker, I know a lot of people like to say he's near the end of his career, he's chinny, blah blah blah. Robert Whittaker can still take a shot. I know he's been knocked out and shit, but he had a spinning back kick from fucking Paulo Costa. Do you know, he got kicked square in the face and was still coming forward. Robert Whittaker isn't done. He's not washed in my opinion. I still think he is elite. Renan de Ridder obviously has a very good ground game. Robert Whittaker does have really good takedown defense. His wrestling as a whole is really good. I know people might just look past that now because of what Khamzat Chimaev done to him, but that's Khamzat Chimaev. Renan de Ridder isn't going to be doing that to Robert Whittaker. I think Whittaker's footwork, his striking style and his striking speed, especially that jab, is going to be there all night for him. And I think Renan de Ridder is going to really struggle to get into close range with Robert Whittaker, which is where I think Renan de Ridder can win the fight if he makes it nasty, dirty boxing, in the clinch, the knees to the body, looking for the takedown, looking for the sub. That's where I think Renan de Ridder has to go to win this fight. That is his game plan. But I just think Robert Whittaker's movement, his jab especially, his jab is going to be there all night for him. I just don't think Renan de Ridder is going to get close to him. I actually think Robert Whittaker wins this fight pretty comfortably, to be honest. Moving on to the 5-round co-main event.
Bruh.
I didn't want this fight to be true, but unfortunately it is. Movsar Evloev, Aaron Pico is officially announced. This fight is dog shit. And when Dana White was like, hey guys, announcement. We've got 5-round co-main event. Movsar Evloev, he's taking on Aaron Pico. If he's able to beat Aaron Pico, he's likely the number 1 contender. Likely the number 1 contender? My boy, he already is the number 1 contender. What are we doing here? Like, I actually don't understand how Aaron Pico has got into this position. I really don't. Like, I understand Patchy Mix Patchy Mix, Patricio Pitbull, Michael Chandler, getting these like big opportunities when they debut in the UFC. Those guys were former champions, well known. Aaron Pico isn't. Like, how the fuck is he in this position? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Aaron Pico, big puncher, good wrestling. Movsar's just so much better than him. He's better than any level of competition Aaron Pico has ever faced. Movsar Evloev is on a crazy win streak. Diego Lopez, Dan Ige, Aljamain Sterling, Arnold Allen. Aaron Pico is going to get whitewashed in there. He is going to get absolutely smoked by Movsar. And the fact that Movsar is going to go into this fight, beat Aaron Pico, and then he's going to walk into a title fight off beating a guy has 0 wins in the UFC is just mind-blowing. Huh? Like, it's the same with Yair Rodriguez. So Yair beats a guy who's 0-0 in the UFC, is winless in the UFC, and now he's going to get a title fight. It's just fucking stupid. And like, it should have been Yair Diego Lopez, UFC Fight Night Noche, Movsar, Volk in the co-main event of Islam versus JDM. Like, it isn't rocket science that we're doing here. It's 2 + 2 = 4. It's obvious. It's obvious what you have to do. Movsar's being shafted. Movsar's going to beat him, though. I think he beats him by decision. I just think he's way better than Aaron Pico. I actually think Movsar is probably the best featherweight right now in the division since Ilya's gone. I think Movsar even beats Volkanovski. That might be a bit of a weird, outlandish take. People might not agree with me, but I think Movsar's just that good. Moving on to the feature fight. The feature fight of this fight night card is Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. The co-main event, the UFC 318, Poirier Holloway 3, is Brendan Allen, Marvin Vettori. This fight night card is insane. Like, how the fuck is this fight night card better than a pay-per-view? I'm here for it though, because it'll be at a good time for me, UK time. Petr Yan, Marcus McGee, look, big jump up in competition for Marcus McGee, who's ranked number 13, coming off a win over Jonathan Martinez at UFC 309, I believe. He is currently undefeated in the UFC. He is on a 6-fight win streak. Marcus McGee, Petr Yan, I think their styles are going to gel well here. Petr Yan is a slow starter, which is concerning because this is a 3-round fight, and we've seen this happen to him before when he fought the likes of Sean O'Malley. But I think Petr Yan is going to beat Marcus McGee. He's just better than Marcus McGee. He's very well-rounded, Petr Yan. One of the most well-rounded fighters right now on the UFC's active roster. I think he beats up Marcus McGee. I think he puts on a really dominant performance. I think Marcus McGee shows that he is an elite-level competitor. Kind of like, no, I don't want to compare it to the Sean O'Malley matchup, but I don't think Marcus McGee is going to have that much success like O'Malley had. But I think Marcus McGee is going to put on a good showing, comfortably lose, but a good showing to where everybody's like, Marcus McGee's actually better than number 13th ranked. But Petr Yan's going to beat him by decision. We have got Bryce Mitchell taking on Said Nurmagomedov. I would love to know Bryce Mitchell's worldview right now with what's going on in the world. But Bryce Mitchell, obviously coming off that supposed loss. Again, it looks AI generated to me over Gene Silva. I always thought Bryce Mitchell was a pretty big featherweight, but he's obviously not if he's making bantamweight. This is a good matchup for him. Saeed is just outside the rankings. Bryce Mitchell should be ranked in the featherweight division. I don't know how he's dropped out of the rankings. Doesn't make sense, but I know he's got the Nurmagomedov second name. Bryce Mitchell should comfortably out-grapple him, though. I think Bryce Mitchell is the better grappler. I'm looking forward to seeing Bryce Mitchell fight. Again, at bantamweight, I'm looking forward to see how good he looks in that division. And yeah, I was going to say there could be a robbery here because the Nurmagomedov name and it's in Abu Dhabi, but I think Bryce Mitchell is going to comfortably win this fight, so I don't think we're going to really see a robbery. Moving on, Shara Bullet taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Shara Bullet back in action after the MVP loss. The UFC were giving him a layup over Marc-Andre Barriault, who did beat Bruno Silva in his last fight. Shara Bullet beat him in his UFC debut. Look, Marc-Andre Barriault's chin is really suspect. He's got a really dodgy chin. Shara Bullet is probably going to stop him, I'm going to say. If not, he's going to beat him comfortably for all 3 rounds. Shara Bullet isn't the biggest puncher. He's not the biggest power puncher in the middleweight division. I actually think he looks undersized for that division, but he's just going to comfortably beat Marc-Andre Barriault, whose chin is suspect anyway. I suspect Shara Bullet if not to stop him later on in the fight, to have an absolute dominant, just outclassing, masterclass performance on the feet against Marc-Andre Barriault. And Nikita Krylov is back in action against Bogdan Guskov. Nikita Krylov obviously coming off that loss to Dominic Reyes. That was brutal. I'm looking forward to seeing Nikita Krylov back. It's nice to see him have a bit of activity under his belt now. Nikita Krylov is better than Bogdan in my opinion, but Bogdan is a big puncher. Has Nikita Krylov's chin just really went away? Is Nikita Krylov now shit because of all the time off? We are going to find out. But yeah, UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi, absolutely stacked. I cannot wait for it. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all again in the next one.